star when I'm speeding. Yo, passport tatted, my luggage got mileage. Whip so quiet I can meditate in silence. Money talk smooth, I don't raise my voice. If you really got it, then you don't need the noise. GQ posture, my bank account's monstrous. Talk about drive, I got options and an iced wrist. I don't chase streams, I just invoice them. Making pay for views like admission with that new vision. Big coat drag when I step through summer. Pocket full of sins and I bless two others. Other mess face looking like back. Damn whole wrist cold, bitch it might snow in Japan. My worst day is your highlight reel. They play rich while I sign tight deals. Said he wants smoke but I light mine still. Still cook beats Michelin type meals. Yo, and the flow's got bass like a drunken confession. Talk slick, walk slick, the tongue of aggression. Every line like a toast to my teenage dreams. Now I sip on success while it's bubbling clean. I need that fur to drag. Big boy stands with that chauffeur tag. Whole team eating off plates I bag. Talk.
Round 3 of the Rangiart V8 Brute Series is here tonight for an enduro event at the historic Donnington Park circuit. This 4-kilometre long track has history dating back to 1939 and since has hosted events including the British GT and the DTM Championship. But tonight, it's the rumble of Australian V8 Utes to take centre stage. After a decent run down the main straight, the drivers are faced with an uphill braking zone into Redgate Corner. It's fast and opens up the quick downhill run through the Craner curves, and the middle sector is about getting these heavy Utes back up the hill under Starkey's Bridge and through the blind crested corners of McLean's and Coppice. The final sector rewards bravery. Starkey Straight begins at the final downhill run to close out the lap, but the drivers are faced with the challenge of the S's and Melbourne Hairpin before the final corner of Goddard's. Get this corner wrong and you're greeted with the grass on corner exit to halter your progress back up the hill to begin another lap. This is Aussie Muscle. This is the Rangiart V8 Brute Series, all live on Sensational TV.
Oh, what an absolutely colossal welcome, everybody, to another Tuesday night Rangiart. Pete, lovely to have you in the box, mate, and what an entrance you have made tonight, sir.
Oh, thank you very much. Donnington Park is definitely a circuit that's getting me excited. This is going to be a extremely interesting combination with these very heavy V8 muscle cars of the V8 Utes around a track that is typically seen for motorcycle racing or a very light car racing. The DTM GT cars, the British GP. You've got Mini Coopers. A lot of the grassroots events also happen around here. They're very light cars, but these, nearly 2 tons. It's going to be interesting.
Mate, this is going to be interesting, all right. Once again, I had the pleasure of jumping on with the guys and doing a few practice laps when they were setting everything up, and I can tell you, this is not an easy track to master. Every corner that you want to cut, you just want to cut that corner as tight as you can, and you can't. There's a little gravel trap there, and it slows you right down. This is going to be challenging for the guys, and it's also a tight circuit. Don't know how many 4 wide we'll get tonight like last week.
Oh, yeah, the track's not quite as wide around this place than we saw at Ruapuna, but you know, there's definitely still the shot, the run down Starkey Straight can get pretty wide, but it closes up a lot going through the S's, so watch out for a bit of country there. But I reckon the corner that's going to trip up a lot of these drivers is actually going through the old hairpin, so that's turn 4 on your track map. And that corner is very fast entry because it's downhill. You're absolutely flat out through the Craner curves, but you run just a little bit wide or use a little bit too much of the inside curb. You have got a lot of grass and a wall that comes at you extremely quickly.
Definitely, that one comes up very fast. But I tell you what, Pete, this might be a great time. Dr. Dre has done a lap for us. What do you reckon? Do you want to watch a lap around the track and we can have a bit of commentary from the doc himself?
Oh, yeah, I am very keen to see how one of the masters tackles this brilliant circuit.
Let's check this one out.
All right, welcome aboard. Let's get ready for a lap around Donnington. Coming onto the front straight, nice and smooth. Up through the gears. Across the start finish line. Move it over to the left hand side, right across the pit lane. Down to 3rd gear. Turn it as late as possible, get a nice exit. down the hill through the S's. Short shift to 6, keep it nice and tight on the left. Brake at the first marker. Get on the gas hard coming out of there. Into a tricky right-hander. Cut it as much as you can without running too wide on exit. This tricky right-hander, don't want to cut that big hole on the inside, keep it in the middle of the track. Onto the back straight. Up through the gears into 6th. And brake just on the top of the hill there, down to 3rd for the chicane. Cut as much of it as you can without getting the cut. A little bit wide on exit. Up to 5th and brake just before this marker here. Down to 2nd gear, slight right up. Nice tight on the inside there. Easy on the throttle on exit. Up to 4th gear for the final braking zone. Into 2nd, again nice and tight. It's easy on the exit. Back down the front straight, across the start finish line. There's a lap of Donnington.
Oh, and how was that, ladies and gentlemen? A lap from the doctor himself. Pete, what do you reckon about that lap as we get quali underway?
Oh yeah, it was a bit of an alright lap, or it wasn't. I'm sure that lap time's going to get absolutely tumbled though in this qualifying session, because look at the conditions we have got here. The sun is absolutely blazing and we have got a very busy track with everyone trying to find a little bit of track position, because we have got close to a full field here tonight. You can see 21 drivers actually already out on the circuit, so this is going to be interesting.
Definitely interesting. Everyone's going to try and find a little bit of real estate here. Try and just get a little bit of a breather so they can put a lap down. And I did notice, is that the man? Oh, I just saw him. I'm sure I just saw Mr. O'Reilly, and then all of a sudden he's disappeared. Nope, there he is. Timing Tower's just doing funny things. How's this guy going to go tonight? He's
always a very, very fast driver. Kmart hasn't been known for their fast delivery, but we'll see how they go tonight. And it's he had the pace in practice, but that's practice. Now let's see what he can do in qualifying trim this is.
Oh, he'll be trying to lay down a time here. This man always with a point to prove, and I tell you what, he doesn't often come up short. He seems to be able to get it done. So it'd be interesting to see how he goes. I've got a few other guys I'd like to look up the field there. Got Fergo there. And I'll tell you what, he did a great job last week. He was battling hard all the way through. So there is some class drivers through this field. I'm sure the points table's looking interesting, Pete.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The man on your screen, Andrew Ferguson, those battles that he had to get himself those positions definitely play dividends for himself, because he's now tied in first position in the championship on equal points with Jason McFadden. So that is definitely a championship battle that is heating up already. Your top 10 is only split by 26 points, mind you, as well. You've got Andre Elliott in third, only 2 points further behind, and then Spadian Fitness and Dion Clerk, they're both tied on 134 points, so they're only 4 points behind. And then Ezra Simons, he's only on 138. John Ostrop, 128. Cole Elliott, he's 126, so he's 12 points back. Tommy Corks, he's a further 8 points back. And then Will Kirk rounds out your top 10, 26 points off the lead. So it's pretty easy to have a big point swing around, especially around a track as unforgiving as Donnington.
Definitely. I mean, look at the cars sliding now, mate. We're just flicking through the field, having a look at some of these guys starting to lay down some times. We've still got just over 7 minutes to go, so things won't heat up just yet. But I mean, it's just about to come onto the burner. That it's going to be tight, it's going to be hard. I don't know whether you can see it there at home, but it's not that wide a track. Overtaking manoeuvres, you're going to have to be precise, put the move on, get the car up the inside and get it done. This is not an easy place to overtake, Pete. I'm more than happy to be sitting on this side of the screen tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a circuit you don't want to get on the bad side with, for sure, because that grass, it just drags you further and further off the circuit, and these cars are already extremely grip limited, so the last thing you want to do is get them a little bit dirty, get a bit of grass on them, or even be out on the grass, and, you know, that's your next few corners absolutely ruined until they clean off a bit and gain a little bit more track temperature. But this is a driver that I'm keen to see, because it wasn't too good of a run for him last time round, was it?
No, definitely not, mate. Struggled last time round, but I mean, you know, everything to prove now. I tell you, there's another driver I'd like to keep an eye on tonight, and that's Elliott, number 2. He had a cracker for a first run last week. I think this guy's got some in him there. He's running a Rangiart car, so I assume he's one of the guys. Not quite sure. We'll have to get confirmation on that. But there was a few quick blokes in there last week, so it's going to be on, and you can never write this man off. Mark my words, people. Keep an eye out for this car. Captain Kirk, I've battled this man many a times, and this is one tough customer. Not when he's doing stuff like that, but when he's got it together. Tell you what, he's hard to catch.
Yeah, absolutely. Currently sitting 10th in the standings. He would love to get himself a little bit further up as well, but he also drives in the Wednesday Cup, this guy does. Very two different cars that he has to get his head wrapped around just a night away from each other. So the driving standards up and down the field, because a lot of these guys also do the exact same thing. These guys will race in multiple series that we host, and the fact that they're able to go from big, chunky V8 cars with no grip, they slide everywhere, and then the very next night be on the pace and actually claim a couple of race wins he has in the Wednesday Cup as well in a very lightweight, low-powered Holden Geminis. It's truly a pleasure to watch as some of these guys pull off their mastery.
Definitely. I mean, these guys, take Fabian for example. He's been Wednesday Cup champion a few times now. He's still in the Wednesday Cup, and here he is doing this, and then bang, look at that timing tower. There he is, Mr. O'Reilly. He's getting into it. He's showing us how it's done. He's having a bit of a slide there. I'm not sure how fast that'll be, but I tell you what, time's starting to tumble now. Ferguson sitting in second, Fitness third. We've got Astrop in fourth, Tommy Corks in fifth. Hang on a minute. Ezra, bang, second place with a 140.4. Now we're starting to see him come down, Pete. Starting to get exciting now.
Yeah, this is how close to the field it really is, and this is what we've been expecting to see. Take note at the lap time Ferguson and Fitness have done. They're on identical lap times to the thousandths of a second. This is 4 kilometers of unforgiving tarmac. They're in very difficult cars to drive, and they've gone out and put in identical cars. As there's a car that's had a bit of an off at the very corner that I said was going to catch a heap of them out into Ward. So must have just dropped the wheel onto the grass on the exit a little bit, and a loss of the rear end, and around she went. But yeah, top 4 separated by only 0.4 of a second. That's barely anything.
Are we going to see anyone jump in there now? What has the doc got? We saw his track lap, so we know the man's got the track in hand here. Can he get further up the field? I wouldn't mind going through the field if we've got a second here. Then we've got C. Elliott. As I said, he's a bit of a dark horse, sitting in 8th there. That's not too bad. Crowther in 9th. McFadden. Oh, I would have thought more than 10th for him, Pete. What do you? He's got to get up further than that.
Yeah, absolutely. Your championship leaders down in the order just a little bit, but I'm sure he's got a little bit of something up his sleeve. You can see he's currently behind another car, so it's not going to be too much of a distraction, but definitely if you're better under the brakes somewhere, it can be a little bit distracting. Another car has gone off down into the gravel as well. I said in the pre-show intro as well that those big heavy braking zones are going to be tough work for these cars. It's a lot of weight to get stopped with not too much stopping power available in these cars, but for what they are, they're very capable under the brakes.
Definitely, you can drive these cars hard. You just have to be right on the edge of it. We got Rob Priest in 14th there. He's doing a great job here. He'll be happy with a 14th. He's tucked right in behind McFadden there. That's probably a good spot to be. Learn as much as you can. Stay with him as much as you can. We got King. He's in the pits. Is he going to come out? Joshy Sadler. This man can pull one out too, so he might be all right. Salmon. Geez, there's a lot of Speed Nation cars out there. Those guys spending big money on sponsorship at the moment. Great to see. Here he is, Hayden Wallace. He's down there in 18th. We've got Mr. Johnson. He's in 19th. Sullivan, 20th. Sam Bensley. Oh, Sam. Another sponsor of the stream there. Look at that car. He's got his stuff on. He's got his Zamp race gear on. He's ready to go. And there he is, Buck. Sitting in the pit there. Buck, always a great racer. Just gets out there and has a go. Streets. He's out there having a crack. And here's Dion. geez, I would have thought Dion would be up there. Dion and Kirk, 24th, 25th. That's a long way down for those guys, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a bit strange to see them this far off the pace. If they were to be trying to go for another lap, or if any of the guys in the pit lane, so that's King and Rogers and Tommy Corks, again, trying to get another lap time in, that's now well and truly over because there's only a minute 20 left on the clock. It's a minute 40 out lap, so you've got a lot. Zach O'Reilly to the top. Fitness is in second. Ezra is in fourth, and Lee Crowther plops it into fourth. Not a bad lap at all.
That is a great job. I tell you what, that camel is as thirsty as it comes. He's done a fantastic job popping that up in a fourth. That man will be singing all the way to the high heavens. And Fergo, here he is in fifth. He'll be trying to get up there. He'll be pushing for a good lap here. We're just under a minute to go, so it's really starting to tighten up now. Let's see who can do something and change this tower. I still think we've got a dark horse that'll come through here. I just noticed Dion up in the 13th. That's getting closer to the pointy end. That's where this man needs to be. Then Astrop, this man's a bit of a dark horse. He goes all right too, Pete.
Yeah, he's had fantastic pace in the races. He was towards the front at Road Atlanta, a little bit further down in the field for the last race out in, that was New Zealand, where we took these Aussie muscle cars over the ditch. John Ostrop, actually a race winner so far in this series as well, claimed first blood in this new series. But yeah, his championship position doesn't really reflect too much. He's down in seventh. But he's just unfortunately been one of those drivers in the wrong place at the wrong time so far this season.
Definitely. Just had a little bit of hard luck, but I mean, that happens in these Utes. Just a little tap. What's Mr. Riley doing? Is he going for a lap here? Have a look at the graph there, guys. That's it for qualifying. Can we have any quick changes in positions here? Is Zach on one? That's gone a little wide. That was a little messy out of that exit. Not sure if he's on one here. What's Fabian doing? Fabian's into the pits. He's pulled the pin. Ezra's still out. He's going to have a crack. He's still got a run at it. Corksy's still out. Can he go quicker? Dion. Here he is. I think he can get up there further. He's going to have a good crack. Gray, we saw him in the middle of the track before, but he's going to push on and try and get a lap. Oh, I don't know if there's much changing going to happen now.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty tough. I reckon the only driver that may have a shot at improving their position is Dion. If he was on a good enough lap, he crossed the line with just a few seconds to spare after finishing one more lap. So when he crosses the line, is this going to be a good lap? I don't believe it's actually a 10-minute lap. So we'll see what happens, and I don't think that's an improvement for him. So unfortunately, that's him done, down in 13th position, now 14th, because here comes Remo Grand. He's just plopped it into 13th to take that position away.
Definitely. That was a last-minute dive. Great job there. So I think that's qualifying done. I might just run through the field here. We got O'Reilly in first, Fitness second, Simmons third, Crowther fourth, Ferguson fifth, Astrop in sixth. Seventh is Corks. Oh, here we go. A mover. Grey Ward pops it up in the eighth. That's a great last-minute lap there. And then Andre in ninth, McFadden 10th, the other Elliott in 11th, Cookie in 12th, Kirk 13th, Grand 14th, Dion in 15th. I've still got a little bit of green there, so not sure if he can still be on a lap. Not sure. He might be able to better that. Doesn't look like he's going too fast to me. Salmon in 16th, Wallace 17th, Sadler 18th, Priest 19th, Kingy in 20th, Sullivan in 21st, Johnson 22nd, Bensley in 23rd, Streets in 24th, and Rogers, there's Buck. He's in 25th. Sorry, Buck. So that's the man of the hour. Oh, jeez, I've totally lost the view there. And there's second place. There he is, that man Fabian. He can be dangerous. What do you reckon, Pete? We've got a 60-minute enduro. It's about to go down.
It is absolutely. There's plenty of time for people towards the back. So a couple of those drivers that we weren't expecting to see that far back. So I'm talking, Will Kirk, down in 13th position. 60 minutes is plenty of time around a circuit like this. Plenty of time as well for the drivers in front of him to possibly make a mistake. We saw a few of them with drivers going off in qualifying. So that was them pushing the absolute limits. The cars are now going to be even heavier because they've had some time. They've had a week to work out what the fuel load is going to be. They've done a few race simulations to work out how this is all going to be strategy-wise, and so this is going to be interesting.
Definitely. So stay with us, ladies and gentlemen. Go and get a drink and get some snacks. You're not going to want to look away. When we come back, it's the start of the 60-minute enduro at Donnington with the Rangiart Tuesday night. What a race to be watching. This is going to be epic.
motto is that safe drivers are lifesavers. If your organisation shares this belief and are planning to improve driver education in your community, SDT Simulator Driver Training has the solution. Many of our simulator users are also gaining a revenue stream by taking their simulators to events and schools for driver education programs. The system can also be set up to run motorsport simulation. Many leading racing drivers are now using simulators to improve their skills. Such software can also be used to show drivers they are not as skilled as they think they are. SDT Simulator Driver Training is a division of Safe Drive Training, one of Asia Pacific's leading driver training providers. We offer affordable driving simulators that are assembled in our Brisbane head office. SDT simulators are now in use across Australia and are expanding into international markets due to their affordable price, unique features, and customization for driver training. Depending on the simulator model being purchased, you will receive a range of training resources to help you to facilitate quality driver education. SDT is the exclusive distributor of Fatal Vision alcohol impairment goggles, marijuana simulation goggles, and drowsy and distracted blinking goggles. All are used to demonstrate the dangers of such impairments on the driver. Also available are driver training posters, driving handbooks, and distracted driving resources. Our simulators make the perfect training tool for drivers to experience how various impairments affect their performance. Contact Simulator Driver Training for more information.
And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, as we get amped up for this one. This is going to be 60 minutes of pure racing. They've got their pit strategies ready. These guys are all over it. Off the first place, we've got Zach O'Reilly. Second, Fabian Fitness. Third, Corksy. Fourth, Ezra Simmons. Crowther off fifth. Fergo off sixth. Astrop seventh. Grey Ward off eighth. Andre Elliott ninth. Jason McFadden 10th. C. Elliott off 11th. Then we go to Cookie off 13th. Kirk, Grand, Clerk, Salmon, Wallace, Sadler, Rob, King, Sullivan, Johnson, Bensley, Streets, and Buck. There we go. I got them all in. And here we go for a start, ladies and gentlemen. Take us away, Pete.
It is 5 red lights here at Donnington for our first enduro of the season, and we're away. We've got a couple of really good moves there. You can see having to take avoiding action from a couple of cars that have not been able to get away, and we've already got our first drive-through penalty, and that was for Streets because he has jumped the start, so he was a bit too eager with the red lights. But it's Zach O'Reilly. He drives away unchallenged into the first few corners, and with the cold tyres, this set at race pace is going to be extremely difficult. And further down the field, you can see going 2-3 wide at some spaces, and we were predicting them to try and go for some audacious moves, and I reckon 3 wide running down the hill was not on the cards.
Definitely not, but I tell you what, it's action aplenty at the moment. Looked like Will just put a move on there and just went, excuse me, coming through. These guys starting to find a bit of space now. If I go up the front, Andre, he's moved it up into 6. He's made some places already.
Oh.
And Fergo on the inside, he's hit the curb there. I thought it was going to be contact. He hasn't made it, but that's let McFadden through. Here comes Jace through now. So Jason's up the inside. Look at this for 3 wide. 3 hard heads, 4 hard heads. Oh, I don't know how this is going to go, Pete.
Going into these S's, it's very tricky, and they're still trying to go 3 wide. How is this all going to play dry out. Somehow it's relatively clean. Jason McFadden looked like he was going to be the big beneficiary of that. In the end, catches the gravel trap on the inside there of the corner, and he's now under attack from a fellow Patriot there in the Rangiart car, but luckily backs out of it. But he's now got is that Grey Ward. He's hanging out around the outside, trying to make a move work there. That is a brilliant work out to Melbourne Hairpin if he's able to make this one stick. And crucially, now gives him the inside for the final corner here. So he can really try and push McFadden here out onto that grass, very slippery grass here. It is at Donnington, you know, British weather always keeps the grass clean and moist. And we've got a car off in the background and straight into the pits. And it's Dean Johnson. Unfortunately, it just keeps going. And we've also got Streets now doing his drive-through penalty in the back. So luckily, it's a 1 hour enduro, so he's got some time to try and pull all that time back.
It definitely, mate. He's going to need that time. I'm interested in this one here. I'm having a look at this group of cars. Look at all the Speed Nation cars together. Who gets right away here? Is there any team orders? What is going on here? These guys, is anyone going to let anyone through? But up the front, if I nick back up there, Zach is almost a second out. He has totally taken off from fitness there. These three guys seem to put a nice little gap on as we go all the way back to Crowther. Andre getting a bit sideways there. You don't want to be doing that sort of business. You want to keep the power down and keep it going on. There isn't many close battles at the moment. Oh, there's a couple. See Elliott here up on Cookies. Here's another team. The two Rangiart cars. Who's got right of way here, mate? Is this a throw a coin and hope for the best?
Yeah, it definitely is. Do team orders come into play here, or is it gloves off between all the drivers? I did take note though, Jason McFadden, something has happened to him because he's now down in 23rd. So he has fallen well down the order, and he is now just ahead of King there. And if you didn't pick it up at home, King was off into the gravel trap in the background at McLean's corner. So I think we've had a small incident happen down the back because McFadden, inside the top 10, he was about 7th or 8th position. Now down outside the top 20. It's been an absolute shocker for our championship leader.
Definitely, that is not where you want to be. Here we go, it's two Rangiart guys going hand in hand. We've got C. Cook, we've got Hayden Cook and C. Elliott. I'm getting confused myself here. They're still side by side, these two. I can't see any team orders going on here. Looks like Elliott's got the run on Cookie and then it sort of goes back around the other way. So here we go, Elliott's going to throw it straight up the inside there. Cookie's sort of got to come in. Oh, how close was that? That was a cigarette paper between those guys, if ever I've seen it. So these two guys, there is no team orders here at all. Go boys, get it on.
Yeah, it is going to be very crucial for them to make up these positions now while the field is still relatively close together. This battle of John Ostrop, he's definitely looking to try and change his fortune after the last time out in New Zealand, tucked up right behind your net tied championship leader of Andrew Ferguson. And this is going to be a big day for Ferguson. We've got a car well off in the background. Hold on to it, son. And that's Dion there, still trying to save it all up. He's going to cut the corner. He's power sliding. Keep it going. Keep it going. Cut the clutch. Kick up the throttle. And he is only just out onto it. That went for a good couple of 100 metres because it's about 300 metres between McLean's and top of the corner, and that went beyond top of the corner, so I would say that was probably about a 500 metre tank slap.
That was an absolute tank slapper. How that man managed to hang on to that and save it to the extent that he did, I would have been in the wall for sure and been calling the tow truck to come and get me. But geez, there's some action here. We've got Elliott up on Ezra. He's right up on him now. These two guys, another one. I mean, I say it all the time, but it's true. Two hardheads. Andre will absolutely throw it up there. The doctor, I mean, he knows exactly what to prescribe you for an overtake. And Ezra, that man is as wide as a bus when you come up on him to try and go around him. Not an easy man to get around. We're just over 5 minutes into this. Can you absolutely believe it? And all the action we've had already. This has turned out to be an epic one.
Yeah, I know. Well, yeah, just over 5 minutes into this one, and I'm already lost for words about how much action we have already seen. And one thing I just took note as well, these guys aren't messing around, even in the race trim as well. They're definitely going at it. Did you take note of the racing line they were taking heading into turn one? They were cutting the pit exit line to open up the track as wide as possible to carry as much through Redgate Corner to maximise the run down the hill, because down the hills, if you can carry a couple of extra kilometres, that's a massive gain against your competitors.
Most definitely it is. What do you reckon, Pete? Now a good time? I reckon we jump in the car with Mr. Riley and see how he does it. Let's do a lap with him and just see how he does a lap. You know these corners, mate, if you want to run through it. Let's see how he does it.
Yeah, so we're closing out the lap here. So this is the final part of the circuit. So this here is Melbourne Hairpin. So this is a very tricky double apex corner, but in these cars, they're not pointy enough to really make it a double apex corner. So you kind of have to just try and treat it as one, despite the curve shape being it for a double apex. And then this is Goddard's here, the final corner of the circuit. You can see that he's actually had to drop it down an extra gear as well to try and help the car get turned, so he didn't run it all the way out wide onto the grass, because that grass, as I said, British weather around here, that grass is moist and it is difficult to get out of. And you can see there, he's cutting the pit exit there to open up the corner. Big snap of that oversteer going through the first corner of the red gate. And that is just the way these cars have to get driven. They're big, heavy, they've got power, they've got no grip, and there's no weight on the rear end. So these cars are an absolute handful. There will not be one driver in this field, and no matter how many fans they have got them on in the sim, they will be breaking a sweat trying to keep these cars under control for an entire hour as around a track as fast as this, and with especially as big braking zones as we have got, especially in the final sector. So this here was another critical corner of the lap, because it's McLean's, because the corner exits and then right on the edge of the curving is the gravel trap. You can see the gravel traps around this place are ever close, and so they really punish your mistakes. Power sliding it on the exit of turn 8, that's Kopica, and now the run down Starkey straight here is a very big as well, because this is a big area where a lot of lap time can get gained, and you can see all the witness marks of people cutting it, getting it wrong, going too late on the brakes, or trying to battle side by side. It's really a one-lane groove through there. If you try and go too wide, you're just never going to get through there cleanly. And now we're back to where we started riding on board. This is Melbourne Hairpin, and then we're going to go up the hill just a little bit here to Goddard's corner to round out the lap. And how well is he going to go? Because generally you can brake really late, cut in for a late apex, and you can see locking up the rears on the power slide. He's missed the apex by a country mile, power sliding it around, and that was a lap on board Zach O'Reilly while leading the race. And he is a very fast guy, and I reckon that is his a bit of a expression session now done, because he has to jump into a comp box soon.
Definitely. So he's had his fun, laid down the lap. I'm so glad we got to get in with him. Here's one of the guys I was saying before we need to keep an eye on, Kirk. He's right up there on Cookie now. He's going to push him all the way. You think these guys, I mean, these guys are good mates off the track, but on the track, it's all over. They don't care. It's just a battle all the way through. I tell you what was interesting, Pete, was to watch Zach, and just the beautiful car control he had. He slid that just perfectly. It was beautiful to watch.
Yeah, it really was, and what great timing for him to join us in the com box for a couple of minutes. How was the opening 10 minutes there, Zach?
Oh, I'm not sure, mate. I think he's gone quiet on us there. I'm not sure how to get that one fixed up. And now we've got him. We've got Zach. Here he is.
I'm going to love yous and leave yous. Have an excellent broadcast. And viewers, if you aren't entertained, you are not going to be. You might as well tune off right now. See you later, boys.
Zach, thanks for that lap, mate. We missed the start of your chat, but well done. Thank you very much. So we've lost him. He was in and he was out. We just didn't have his mic turned on, but that's okay. That's okay. This man done a great job driving. As I was saying, Pete, just the way he slides the car, just keeps the back of it sliding just a little bit. I mean, geez, it's fast. Oh, there's some position changes here.
Yeah, we've got a battle here between Ostrop and Grey Ward here. So these guys have been going at it. I think you may have seen as well. We had a couple of two guys battling it out while we were riding on board with Zach O'Reilly. We had this battle here of Ostrop and Ward going at it, but I've also been keeping an eye on the battle between Elliott and Grand, because they have been switching positions up and down and going pretty much side by side wherever they can, wherever they think they can go side by side, but they've been giving it a go.
Definitely, these guys, they are absolutely into it, both of them. Doing a great job. I mean, everyone is just absolutely hammering it. They are on it like you wouldn't believe. I can't love watching these guys battle it out the way they do. And there we go. We've just lost Ward. Ward's dropped right off there. I thought he was right up the back of Astrop. He just seems to be losing a little bit of speed. So Astrop just starting to pull away now. He'll be loving that breather. Let's go back to this one. Andre, right on the back of Ezra there. This is getting nice and spicy. Love a bit of this stuff. Look at this. He's up the inside. He's throwing it straight. Oh, he's caught the ripple strip. It's flicked him up, but I tell you what, he hasn't lost anything out of it. He's going to move over now and close off that to Ezra. He's got that move done. Ezra, he'll be looking for revenge here. He won't have liked that one. Jeez, that was close, Pete. I thought that was going to be tragedy for sure.
Yeah, especially when he popped it up on the two wheels when he caught the inside edge of that curving there. You know, that could have very easily been him up on two wheels and not able to steer the car, because obviously you try and steer into the corner while up on two wheels, you run the risk of rolling the thing. So he almost nearly had to lean on Ezra just to keep the car up, but luckily racing room was given. Elliott was wise to the situation that was happening and they got through cleanly. But yeah, that was a very late, very authoritative move from Andre Elliott, that was, and definitely a spot I wasn't expecting a move, but that just shows how critical McLean's corner is, because get a good run out there and you can throw it up the inside of the next one if you please.
Definitely, and this little battle here, this is getting exciting. I just saw Ward back off a little bit, and then all of a sudden the time come right down. Look at that, he's 4/10 now. He's come right back up on Astrop, so he's not going to let him go. This one will go on for a while. These two guys, pit strategy will come into it at some point. Not sure if they're going to need a one-stop or a two-stop. I'll keep a keen eye on that. Everyone will be running different strategies, but it will all come down to how they're driving the car too. Too much sliding just like that, and you use up your tyres quick smart. You're going to have to relax it and just try to put a lap down without going too nuts. And then as I look down the field here in 18, we got McFadden. He's just starting to come up on Sadler now, so he's trying to wake his way back through the field after that absolutely tragic start. Something happened there. Look at the slide. He is onto this. He's on the back of Sadler now. He's going to have a red hot crack at this. This might even happen sooner than I think, Pete.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like he's definitely got the pace over the top of Sadler here. Is he going to be able to pull off an Elliott spec move? No, he's going to get it done a corner earlier. The door was wide open from Sadler, and he just said, thank you very much. No need for a second invitation on that one time round. And now he can put the foot down to the floor, heading down to Starkey Straight, because he's now got nearly 6 seconds to gain if he wants to catch up the back of Priest.
Definitely, he's going to have to push now, but Priest is a second off, so, I mean, he'll make that time up nice and quick. And then, look, another tight battle. We've got Elliott. He's on Clerk here. He's going to make this move stick. That looks like it's nice and clean up the inside. What has Dion got as an answer? He's going to try for the crisscross, but is he going to get that power down enough? I tell you what, this is close. This is real close. How close is he? He's close. I mean, it doesn't get much closer than that, does it? He is right there trying to get a nice drive off this one. I don't think he'll get it done with that. That was a little bit too tight, which caused the car to just slide out a little bit. So it's getting interesting straight away. I mean, we're going to get a bit of red mist descending at some point. Someone's going to push too hard. I can feel it starting to build now, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. I've just also noticed that Bensley's dropped out of the order as well, so he's another DNFer so far in this race. But I was very surprised that Dion wasn't actually able to get a good run going through there, because Elliott was actually a little bit wide, and hence why it looked like Clerk was able to get a good run on him. But yeah, right when he should have been trying to go for full throttle, the car kind of stepped out sideways on him and ruined any momentum that he had. But it looks like his run down the hill has been beautiful sideways from Elliott, and even more sideways. Is he going to hold on to it? No, he's just got the grass on the exit, and that has rotated the thing all the way around. He's right on the racing line as well. So that was Salmon as well as Priest that went through. So he's lost a few positions, and that's a free one for McFadden as well. He'll be absolutely rubbing his hands over that one.
Definitely. Jason's certainly on the charge here. I mean, that was an unforced error from Elliott, but that has put Jace up to 15th. So this man, he won't give up until the checker flag waves. It'll be interesting to see how far up he can get. I think he's got a lot better than that position in him, so he will come up more than that. And look at that beautiful car. I love the banana yellow. We all know what Jason thinks of bananas, and that livery is beautiful. The Rangiart guys do a great job of this. They're really onto it. What other battles have we got up and down the field here? I can see a few sort of going on. We've got Ezra. Elliott got that done. He's around Ezra now. I actually missed that one in the broadcast. He's now ranging up on Crowther. So Andre, he will be pushing. He'll want a podium here at least out of this race.
I just noticed as well, Ward is coming into the pit. So is this a strategic move for Ward, or does he have a issue of some sort?
I'd say Ward's come in for a bit of a tyre change there. We saw him before. He was a little bit loose when he was out there, and that's going to use up your tyres. So he's obviously come in for an early stop. He might have been running with a low fuel load too, just to try and get him up the field as much as he possibly can. Because to keep up with these guys, I mean, you got to be right on it. You've got to keep it as smooth as you can. Like Dre there, he's just come out of that corner and he's just sort of feathering it. You can watch the throttle trace. You've got that little cam down the bottom there under his name. So you can see his throttle trace, you can see him on the brakes, you can see him just trying to feather it out of these corners. He's just trying to get the power down nicely and protect those tyres a bit. The longer, the longer you can run in this one, mate, the better you'll come out.
Yeah, exactly right. And one thing that I've noticed as well, not all drivers are doing it, which I would have thought would be a standard in these cars, is he's doing a bit of a throttle blip on the downshift. So what that does is that it rev matches the engine to reduce the rear chirping of the tyres, and that also improves grip. It allows you to brake deeper into the corner, and obviously also saves your tyres. So it's a very smart driving here from the doctor he is of Andre Elliott, and we even saw that in the commentating onboard lap for the qualifying session started as well, because you can just see with his foot cam that we had, he's just so smooth on the throttle application. He's heavy on the brake, but he knows when to start lifting it away. You can see he's sliding it around, but it's controlled sliding. That's the difference. There's uncontrolled and then there's controlled sliding. One will eat away at your tires, the other one will, but it's going to also improve your lap time.
Definitely, and I can tell you, Crowther doing a great job there of just maintaining the gap. I saw the time come down, then it goes back out to the 7/10. So Crowther driving the wheels off that thing. He's looking in the rear vision mirror going, I don't want to borrow this. You stay right where you are, Andre. Just as I say that, Andre closes up a bit. So this gap, Andre seems to be on a bit of a charge here. He's just trying to come in on him, just trying to get up there as far as he can, and then he can pull the move, go for the overtake. As I said, he will want at least a podium out of this. And down the field, up and down the field, they're all starting to spread out a little bit now. So we're starting to see the gaps come out. But I mean, the pit strategy will come into this at some point. You'll have two stoppers, you'll have one stopper. I mean, I don't know, Pete. I know there was talk of a one stop, but it's a long way to go with just one stop.
It is. It's all about tyre compensation at the moment. So you can see the guys, the field of spread has actually increased just a little bit, but that's all because even in these cars that have very little aero, just sitting up behind the hot exhaust of the car can that hot exhaust fumes then goes into your brake ducts, your brakes get hot, your hot brakes then cause the tires to overheat, and it's just not fun as now fitness. He's in the pit lane, so this would definitely be some part of his strategy. So let's keep an eye on this, because he's still got 41 minutes left of the race, so that is a very long way to go on a one stop if he's trying to do it. So is this a commitment move to the two stopper now for him?
I would say so. I'd say that's a two stop strategy for fitness. He's come out in 9th place, which I tell you what, he hasn't dropped down the field as far as I thought he would after a pit stop. So maybe he's going for the two stops. I would say most of these guys will be looking around the 30-minute mark, around the 35-minute mark to go. I would say it'll be when we start to see a lot of these stops. But Corksy at the moment, this man has it all under control out in front. He's got a 2.5 second gap to this man. And then hot on his heels, here's the Doc. He's coming for it. Then we're 2.2 seconds back to Ezra and Fergo. Here he is. Fergo's out there in 5th place. He's nearly a second behind Ezra. Astrop, he's 1.5 seconds. And then we go 13.5 seconds back to Cookie. And then Kirk, hot on his heels. Then we come back now. I just want to show you the gaps back nearly 2 seconds back to Fitness, who's already had a pit stop. So you'd expect him to start coming on strong now, Pete, wouldn't you? Fresh tyres?
Yeah, absolutely. And I also took note, his stop time in the pit lane also was really short. So I'm also going to say that he has done the strategy of he's fueled the car up. So hopefully maybe try and go for the full length of the race, or either he's trying to split the fuel into only two stops. So that stop was a bit too short, I reckon, for him to be putting in any fuel. So I reckon that was just tyres. And in the next one, if he needs it, he'll do the quick splash and dash of fuel to help him get to the end of the race. But yeah, he is already caught up to the back of Kirk and Cook as well. So this really just shows the pace discrepancy there is between fresh and old tyres.
Definitely, mate. These guys are going to... You'll see Fitness now start to range up on the back of Kirk, but at the moment we're in Kirk's car. We're watching him come up on the back of Cook. Cook's gone wide. That's opened the door. Kirk's going to try and throw it up the inside here. This is a difficult position to be in. Let's go back to the cameras here. This is not a nice spot to be. The car gets way out of control. Cookie does the smart thing and backs out of it and says, I don't want to borrow that. We're still too early on in the race, but that's just incentivized him to try and get up a bit more. He's right on Will's hammer here. These guys, this is going for it. Cookie now, what's he going to do? Will's covering that inside line. Smart move there, but that's going to give Cookie beautiful drive out. And then in the background here we go. He's witnessing the whole thing is Mr. Fitness. What's he going to do? Cookie throwing it up the inside now. Fitness!
Both of them.
Oh! That is move of the night. I haven't seen anything like that in a long time, Pete. How is that?
Yeah, that is definitely using fresh tyres to a good advantage there. So that was very opportunistic. He saw that going down the inside was going to run them both wide. So he hung it out wide even longer and went past your traditional turning in point to sharpen up the corner entry, and then he was able to straight line it on the exit. So it kind of allowed, it was kind of like a crisscross move, but he was too far back to really call it like a switch over crisscross move. But essentially that's what he's done. He's just used the grip advantage that he's got to be able to power through the corner and get the better run on the both of them. And that is him now up into 7th, and he's got nearly 16 seconds now to John Ostrop. So he has got plenty of clear air in front of him. You can see on the mini map as well, in the bottom corner of your screen. They're about to come into turn 1, and then John Ostrop in 6th position has just gone underneath the bridge and going into the 2nd sector. So that's plenty and plenty of clean air for Fabian Fitness to work with.
Definitely. Fabs can just now get his head together, get down. He's got those fresh tyres, and then I look up front here and look at this. Andre, oh, that'll slow him down a bit. No, he seems to have a good line through there. He is right up on the back of Crowther. This could be on. Let's jump in the car with him quickly. How close is he? Can he get a move done? He's moved that right up onto Crowther now. He'll want to try and get around him before the pit stops start. That'll just be a bit of a head game there. If you're around him, then already you're in 2nd place. But I tell you, Fitness will be the one to watch here. I don't know where they'll come out in relation to him. But if Andre's going for the 1 stop, this will put him in a nice position. I'd say the front guys are Corksy, Crowther, Elliott, Simmons, Ferguson, Astrop. I'd say they're all on a 1 stop. Fitness, I'm still banking that 2 stop, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. I reckon it's a bit too deep into the race now to be trying to go for a 2 stop, unless you're going to try and put in 2 screaming stints of just qualifying pace, because the current race pace is a few seconds away from what we saw in a quali, so a little bit expected with the heavy fuel loads that we're running, and also this deep into the race. As much as it sometimes work with as the car gets lighter, you get more grip, but in these things, when the car is heavy, you're using more grip, but then it's going to be worth it later on into a stint. And Andre Elliott, he has been stuck behind Lee Crowther for so long of this race. It's been hovering around about the 7 or 8 tenths mark for as long as I can remember so far in this race. He's got it down to about half a second, 4 tenths, and to the back, even probably even able to smell the exhaust fumes of the car in front. But here's an overtaking maneuver from Jason McFadden around the outside at Goddard's corner, the final corner of the circuit, down the main straight. He's got the side draft going if he's able to get it done. Is he going to go down the inside at turn 1? He will go down the inside, and that is now him up into 11th position. So he's making his way through the field quite nicely.
Definitely. He's pushing through there. He's not mucking around, and then I can't take my eyes off this because every time I turn around, Andre's right back there again. So he's now having another crack. It looks like he might have a bit of overlap here. This could serve him nicely into the next corner. It's a right-hander. Oh, no, it's a left-hander, sorry. I thought it was the right-hander. Just get my position. Look at that. The crisscross. Is he going to bring it back? Jeez, I thought that was on. That could have been tragic straight away. Andre, very smart racer. He's not going to muck around here. He won't do anything too risky. He's trying to throw it up the inside there. This is close. The brakes are on. And then Ezra, is this another move? We got 3 wide. We got 3 wide. They are bumping and carrying on. Elliott's still there on Crowther. He's still holding the car there. Rob's been given a drive through, as we just saw with notification. Now it looks like, I don't know, I just saw Andre's car bite there. I think he's got this done.
Yeah, I reckon it may be all she wrote for this battle at the moment, unless Crowther is able to fight back. But he has to be careful now, because this battling has now meant that not only is Ezra in this, but Ferguson and Ostrop, you can see there in the back of your shot, are in this battle as well. Ostrop a little bit further adrift, but all it takes is them to battle just like that once again, and he is going to be right on the tail of it as well. But your championship leader at the moment, well, tied in the championship lead, Andrew Ferguson, might be feeling a little bit sweaty seeing this battle in front of him, because if one of those guys has a bit of an incident, he does not have a lot of time to react and try and get himself out of the way.
Definitely not on this track, mate. All it's going to take is a little slide. I love this view here. We're just sitting with him, so he's seeing all the action unfolding there. He's just seen Ezra get a little bit sideways. Is that going to give him enough to throw? Oh, he's hit him. Oh, he's given him a bump. I think he got out of that. That was a wise move, because he'll have to readdress it. He's going to push on up the inside here. These guys, this is on. Fergo wants this so bad. He's right up there in the championship. He just needs to calm down for a minute, think about his championship, and just run it as nice and clean as he possibly. Oh, and that's Crowther. Crowther's put it in the gravel trap. We've been talking about those sand traps. I tell you, they grab the car and slow it down. See, straight down to 6th place. That has given these guys another free kick. So here we go, mate. This is a battle pack. And I'm just noticing now Remo's starting to close in on Cookie here. So we've got battles coming all up and down the field at the moment. Even Priest starting to reel in Sadler just a little bit. As I said, Speed Nation cars. Not sure if there's orders there, but I tell you what, I wouldn't like to be in one of them.
Yeah, nah, me neither. It's a beautiful sport, is a motorsport, isn't it, Dino? Your biggest rival is your teammate, and it's one of the only sports I can think of where your biggest rival is indeed your teammate. Not other sports have inter-team rivalries. You may have, you know, like arguments and stuff between maybe footy players and stuff, but you don't have actual battles and fights between teammates like you do in motorsport. And so now here's a pit stop for Remo Green here as well. So he's pulling himself out of that battle towards the front of the field, and now is going to see if he can't get himself a bit of fresh air with the fresh tires. I think the plan now for the guys coming into the pit lane now will be trying to get an undercut on the drivers in front of them.
Definitely. So we're starting to see a few of those pit stops now. About when I said about the 30 to 35 minute mark, some guys will try and run long. If you're nice and comfy out there at the moment, there's no point bringing it in. But I tell you what, these guys are going to battle before they get to the pits. We got Ezra, Fergo, and Astrop. Now these guys nice and close, and Crowther in the background there. He'll be trying to make up for that little incident in the sand trap. So he will be pushing hard to get all up involved in this. But I'm quite keen to see here if any of these guys peel into the pits. Is anyone going to pull the trigger and go for that pit stop now? I mean, it's probably the opportune moment. Try and get it done. You're nearly halfway through the race. Get in, get pitted, and get out. And here we go. We got Fergo go on the outside on Ezra. That's lost all the speed there. I thought he was nearly going to get that done, but then he had a bit too much of a slide, and they're peeling in. Ezra's in. Astrop's with him, and there's Crowther. Look at the time Crowther made up there coming into that pit. That's a beautiful pit entry there from Crowther.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is going to put a lot of pressure now onto Andrew Ferguson, because he has just seen every single driver come into the lane as well, including your race leader at the time was Tommy Cork. So he's into the lane as well to take his pit stop. Fabian Fitness, he's now filtered his way out in front of Tommy Cork. So I think that was a bit to be predicted as well with how much of an undercut he's going to get. But now the question is, what is Fabian going to do next? Is he coming in for a second stop, or has he gone for a big undercut here to try and give himself the extra track position? And then he can try and go long in another stint here if he is trying to go for a one-stop. If he pulls this off, that is going to be a strategy masterclass to claim victory here to try and get himself further up the championship tally. But back to Ferguson, it has to be this lap, I reckon, for him to come into the pits. If he doesn't come in this lap, he is at massive risk of an undercut.
Definitely he is at a risk here. I mean, he'll have to bring it in after seeing all that stuff. I mean, he'll have to be looking. Half the field literally is peeled off into the pits. They were the guys that he was racing. He'll be looking at this now going, oh, I need to pit. I don't know, if you're getting good lap times though, you'd probably try and extend it as much as you can. You'd be keeping an eye on the guys around you, trying to see what their lap times are, and try and have the fresher tyres towards the end. But I tell you, the squirming there under brakes hard, that's telling me that Fergo's car, it's not quite comfortable. See the little excess slide there? You can see he wasn't using much power. No, he's going into the pit. That's a smart move. So now he's pitting. Let's see. So he's gone for a little overcut there. It's only a lap, but it might have some variance on it. So we'll keep an eye there. The minute Fergo gets going, let's see where he comes out in all of this.
Yeah, absolutely. So I reckon Fabian Fitness is going to well and truly get the lead of this race, because you're going to have Ferguson in the lane for some time, because he'll probably have to do a bit of a splash and dash with the fuel as well. There goes Fabian Fitness with a personal best lap time as well of a 40.5 in the race. And then I reckon that was that, who was that coming out the lane? I reckon it was one of the back markers coming out the lane. I don't think it was Ferguson as of yet. He still sits in the pit lane. You can see that's a bit of a longer stop for himself. Tommy Corks now around the final corner, down the main straight. Where is this going to put him out in conjunction with Ferguson? There he goes. He's now leaving his pit lane box, going around the safety car that we've got here at Sensational TV, a wicked looking car. But here he is exiting the pit lane. There goes Andre Elliott. He had already peeled away ahead of this battle pack, and he's going to come out in the midst of it, so he hasn't lost too much time at all. But these guys, they've got a lap of tire temperature on, and it is all on. And look at that, shoved out off the track goes Ferguson. That was him trying to hang around the outside. He was on stone cold tires, and you can see how light the rear end of that car is. He's trying to hold on to it through these fast flowing corners heading down the hill. And look, the moment he hit the brakes and tried to turn the car in, and stepped out sideways on him again. So he's going to have an absolute handful to try and stay with Ezra here, but also crucially try and keep Crowther behind, because this now, if we're playing our prediction game correct here, Dino, this is going to be the run to the flag.
This will have to be the run to the flag. I can't see it going any other way, mate. The way these guys are going for it. But I tell you, Fabian's the dark horse here. He's got about 23 odd second gap on Corksy. So he's going to have another pit stop. Not quite sure how long it'll take him to transverse the pit lane there, but I'm not sure. I think it'll take longer than 24 seconds, but what it will do is bring him out with nice fresh tyres. As we look now, Ferguson coming up on the back of Simmons. This could be a return of serve, Pete. We are about to get a return of serve.
Yeah, you know, bumping around here does not go too kindly. Drivers have some of the best memories, I reckon, in the human race. They can remember something that happened 15 years ago at a race on this lap at that corner, and then they will return the serve given the opportunity. We see that especially in NASCAR. Those drivers love the self-policing, but the battling before it wasn't too harsh. It was just a case of trying to get it out of the pits and gaining and taking as much speed through it as possible, trying to close the door on your competitor, but then saying absolutely not. And that is John Ostrup going slowly in his Coca-Cola car, losing a few positions. Or what has happened to him, because he was leading that pack just a lap ago.
He may have just touched the little trap there, that little sand trap. I mean, it feels ridiculous. It just absolutely grabs the car and yanks it around. You don't have a chance to do anything with it. Once it's grabbed it slows you down. You lose all momentum, and it's just tricky. You just want to try and keep the car away from it, but your natural instinct is to try and cut the corner, and you cannot cut that corner.
Yeah, that is exactly right. It's one of those corners that you just can't mess up. If you mess it up, as we've just now seen, you get bit pretty hard, and now he has to gain all of that time back up to get himself onto that three-car battle that you can see happening in front of him. They've spaced out just a little bit, maybe trying to play their cards correctly, because there's still plenty of racing to go. We've still got over 25 minutes left in this Enduro event here at Donnington Park in the V8 Utes. So there is a bit to play out, and these cars definitely love it using up their tyres. So the battling now is only going to cost them time later on to the race, and that's where drivers like Remo Grand, who is currently 5 seconds behind, he might, if he plays his cards right with the tyres and the strategy, he could get himself back up into this battle pack. You can see him. He is driving the wheels off this thing with a little power slide out of Melbourne Airpin.
I tell you what, it just looks like, is it just my eye, or has he had a little tap in the rear? Look at that hard lid. Oh no, it's just the paint job. Looked like the hard lid was sitting up there. I thought, look out, he's had a little tap. Pete, why don't we use now to go through the field, mate? Let's have a look at the drivers and see their positions.
Yeah, absolutely. So Fabian Fitness played his cards absolutely brilliantly in the strategy game, because he has extended his lead through the pit stop phase now out to over 23 seconds. Only 24 seconds is the gap between your leaders. And Tommy Corks has also played a really good strategy game. took the lead of the race when Fabian came in early and put in some really good laps to hold that lead, and has now found himself in second position, probably gaining as much as he can in the championship scheme of things. Andre Elliott fought his way up through the field to get himself up into third position, and he can see the back of Tommy Corks, which is always a good motivator to get a little bit more pace out of your car. And then this is the battle pack we've been talking about so much as of recently. You've got Ezra here in fourth position, just ahead of Ferguson, who we saw have that massive battle on the pit exit, and then Lee Crowther, who lost a few positions when he, I'm going to say, he probably just ran a little bit deep into the gravel trap coming up into the yeses coming up right now, and that's how he fell down the order. Then it's John Ostrop, who we saw just have a moment as well, and fell from the front of that battle pack now down to the rear in 7th position. Then Remo Grand in 8th. He is going to be on a charge. He's lost a little bit of time to that battle pack, so maybe he has to pick up the pace just a bit if he wants to try and go for a top 7 here tonight. And then it is Hayden Cook of the Rangiart car. He is in 9th, just ahead of Cole Elliott, who has been putting in some fantastic performances so far in his few features that he's had in the series. And then just outside of the top 10, it's Gray Ward. We've seen him coming for a very early pit stop, I reckon it was. So he has done well to get himself up into this position. And then it's Dion in 12th position in another one of the SimStation TVs as well. Sorry, Speed Nation TV. Sorry, can't get everything right all the time.
Pete, let me take over and help you out here, buddy. Dion in the Speed Nation car happens to the best of us, mate. We all have those days. And then here he is, Banana Man. This man loves saying it, but he does love a banana. Geez, if you know him. Oh, Astrop. I've just seen something. He's just jumped into the pits there. That's just throwing me off. So Astrop back into the pits. That's an interesting move. So we've got McFadden, and then let's keep going through the field. We got Rob Priest in 14th. This man will be absolutely cheering to the high heavens over that performance. Salmon, 15th. Sadler, 16th. Wallace in 17th. King in 18th. This man doing a great job. He sort of hasn't been back in the series long, hasn't been back in racing long, and he's certainly proving that he's got it to get up there. Sullivan in 19th. Kirk, bit of a surprise there for me, Pete, in 20th. And then Buck. Sorry, Buck. I mean, look at this guy. Just keeps lapping, doing a great job. And then Streets, he's 3 laps down, but I tell you what, still staying in it. I love that attitude. I love it when guys do that. But let's get back up here. Fergo, what's happened here? He's back on Ezra, but he's absolutely stuffed to that corner, which has let Crowther come in. This battle pack, we can't leave the thing.
Yeah, I was keeping an eye on the timings while we were going up and down the field. So Ferguson was about 0.3 of a second away. So I reckon what he's done is he's tried to go for around the outside at Melbourne Hairpin once again. He's tried that a few times, hasn't played out. So he might have to start switching up a few things and try and catch Ezra on the unawares side of things. So he's gone for a move around the outside, I reckon it was, gone a bit deep. And that opened up the door for Lee Crowther here to try and get himself a bit of a sneaky move here. He was licking his lips a bit more than the thirsty camel on the side of his car there when he saw that door open up.
Love it. And I tell you what, that camel was thirsty and just couldn't get it done. I thought it might have been a move there. I thought he might have been into it, but just couldn't get it done. And Fabian now, I tell you what, the gap Fabian to this man, Tommy Corks, that's come down nearly a second, I can see there. So Corksy definitely on a charge. I'd say that would have something to do with Fabian's tyres. Maybe the tyres are starting to wear in a bit now, but we've got another stop to go on there. So we know that's going to happen. Elliott and Cookie, these guys have been tied with a drawstring. These fellas, they're not letting go of each other. Cole there trying to get the move on Elliott, but I don't know about on Cookie, sorry, but I tell you what, I don't know about Team Orders there. I think Cookie outranks him.
Yeah, that is a bit strange to see, to say the least, but Elliott's still doing an alright job. Now finds himself a little bit further up because he was 10th the last time we looked at him. He's now 9th and right on the back of Cookie. So this year is going to be very interesting to see how this battle plays out.
Yeah, definitely. These two guys are going hard at it. I wonder if he's got enough to throw something at Cookie and just get up there and just try and get the move done. I tell you what, the gap come right down then. He's got a beautiful exit. He's going up the inside. Is he going to make this one stick? He is. He's going to throw it straight up the inside. Look at those brakes. But Cookie's not going to have a bar of that. He's going to try and stay with him here. But now we're coming up to corners. This is going to get real tight. They're side by side through here. Who's got the bigger kahunas? this? I'm not sure. Cookie's still trying to go around the outside. Cole just a little bit sideways. Cookie's had to check up. Oh, I tell you what, this is having everything this battle. Cookie would have had that. He just had to check up there as Elliot got a little bit sideways, and Cookie just smartly got out of it, or he would have sent him flying. And I tell you what, that wouldn't have been a nice shed to be in after the race.
Yeah, that was. It just shows how much momentum is key in these cars, because both of these drivers have lost a huge amount of time through that battle pack that they've just had, and you can see as well. Just so the snap of oversteer, the checkup from Hayden as well, has cost them a load of time, and now they have to work all that momentum that they did have back to get themselves back up into a good groove.
Definitely, he's just had to get out of it there and just let him through. But while we've got a little bit of a lull here, let's have a quick chat. If you like what you're seeing, ladies and gentlemen, like, subscribe, and get notified. Sensational broadcasting, so many races, it's not funny. You could watch one nearly every night of the week. And I tell you what, the coverage is brilliant, even if I do say so myself, Pete.
Yeah, you do a pretty good job, don't you, Dino? You're a good director.
I don't know about that, mate. I appreciate you carrying the team and saying nice things about me, mate. That's brilliant. I'll take that all day, every day. Gotta have some fun though. But getting Pete in here with me, brilliant, mate. I really appreciate you jumping in. Always good calling. The man with all the knowledge, this guy. I mean, seriously, what he knows about tracks, I mean, it's unbelievable. I have no idea. I'm happy to sit here and prattle on, but this man, total professional.
Yeah, and while we've been babbling along, look at this battle now kicking off just a little bit. It's Sadler trying to get around one of the lapped cars, and he had an absolute tank slapper. But look at the run that he's now had, because he's now side by side with Wallace. How is this going to go? He's now king. He's just got a drive through cut, and we've had a couple of those now happen. So the driver's probably finding the limit going through this corner here, the S's. You can see all the witness marks of everyone going through the gravel, and he hasn't got that one right, has Sadler, because look at this. Now Wallace back up the inside in the GGR throwback livery. Absolutely beautiful car to look at. It's a little, it's just a beautiful throwback down the inside, and he has got that move absolutely nailed, and that is now up inside the top 15 for Hayden.
Definitely, he'll be happy with that result. And I'll tell you what, Elliot just in the pit now, he's coming back out. He's going to clear Wallace by a fair bit, so there's nothing really happening with those guys. So Elliot, he's obviously gone for the 3-stopper. He's gone in, but how is our man doing up the front here? Oh, he's in the pits. So Fitness is in the pits, definitely running a 2-stop strategy. Where's Corksy? Here's Corksy onto the main straight, so he's definitely going to take Fitness here. Fitness rolling again. Elliot in the pits, so these guys have gone for a 2-stop. Corksy seems to have a good advantage here, but I tell you what, Fitness isn't going to come out that far behind on fresh tyres. So he will be ready to go here. You've got Simmons and Ferguson. They are still going for it, but I don't know if they'll catch Fitness. Once he gets some temperature in those tyres, this man will be one to watch. So he's now got just over 7-second gap to Corksy. Keep an eye on that, people. Keep an eye on that time. That will come down, Pete. What do you reckon?
I reckon we have got a race on our hands, because we've got Tommy Corks currently leading the way on warm tyres, and I'm going to say with only 16 minutes left, unless he is confident with the pace that he's got to put in lap record times, I reckon he's going to be trying to go to the end, and he has got the Fabian Fitness of gods coming up behind him. He is going to be an absolute menace in there, and you can see just on his outlap on cold tyres, he's already pulled in half a second to Tommy Corks, so that just shows the pace difference with the fresh to the old tyres. So we've got a race on our hands. I reckon give it a few minutes, that gap is going to be down to about 4 seconds, and then in the last 10 minutes, if I am predicting this correct, the last 10 minutes will be a pretty good battle.
Definitely, this is going to be on for younger old, because Fabian, that timer will just come down and down and down. He will be closing in on Corksy, and Corksy will know it too. He'll be seeing shots of the timing tower, and he'll be thinking, oh no, it's Fabian, because he'll know, like everyone else knows up and down the field, another man that will not quit until that checker flag drops. He will push like an absolute demon to get this done, and if anyone can do it, He's the man to get it done. I've just noticed in the background there's a bit of a battle going on. So Remo, he's gone around McFadden here. McFadden was in the top 10, which is a great position for him to be in up this. And then there we go. Grant's just put it in the sand, and that's just gifted it back to Jason. Straight back in the lead. So Jason now right in the top 10. Not sure what these guys are doing. Does Jason have another stop to make, or is he a one-stopper?
Well, at this point of the race, if you're going to be making another pit stop, it has to be this lap, and he hasn't taken it this lap. So I'm going to say he's going to be going to the end, and in his position with what happened at the start of the race, dropping all the way down to, what was it, like 22nd position he dropped down to, and he was miles off the back of the field. I reckon for him, he'd probably be better off to try and hang it out for the last 14 minutes of this race. Try and see if he can't get himself a top 10 to help his championship, because the guy he's tied with in the championship is currently in 4th and only half a second away from trying to claim himself a podium. And so this is going to be a big swing when it comes to the championship tally after this round.
Yeah, this will be interesting. You will have to come back next Tuesday, guys, and see with the points. I know it's extra points for an enduro round, so everyone will be vying to get as far up that field as they possibly can. We've got a car there on the grass. Who's that? It's Dion. So Dion has now lost 9th position, and he's about to lose 10th position to Remo here. If these two guys don't sort it out, he obviously got a little bit adventurous there and just ran it a bit wide, got himself caught. McFadden here now trying to negotiate lap traffic. Hopefully those guys jump out of the way. Hopefully the blue flags are going. And have a look at those brake rotors. They are glowing. They are absolutely glowing. This man, hard on the brakes into every corner. He'll be trying to go as far as he can, because as you said, he's arch nemesis in this championship, Fergo. He's in 4th. Fergo will be pushing to try and get up into 3rd. He'll be trying to range in on Ezra and just get a move done, but it will have to be a quick one. You got to be decisive with Ezra.
Yeah, absolutely. Ezra is not one to be messed with. So if you try and go for a move, you better make it stick, because if he sees any glimpse of you making a half-hearted overtake, he is going to make you pay for it as well. So you better make sure that you're absolutely on it when you're battling this guy, and when it comes down to being on a podium, the stakes are only higher. Definitely, mate. I mean, 3rd place is a big thing. We've got a battle here for 12th and 13th. This is on. Elliot now trying to get an upper hand on Salmon. I think he's got that move done and managed to shut the door. I've just noticed Gray's in the pits there. He's in 11th, so he'll be coming out with a fresh set of tyres. But I mean, 12 minutes to go. I'm not sure how much further up the field you can have. Might not have had the best strategy on that one. Might have wanted to stay in it a bit more. He's just going to keep rocketing down the field. And Rob in the 13th position, I see. That is an outstanding drive from Rob Priest. That man will be laughing all the way to the bank. Yeah, absolutely. I reckon if my memory serves me right, Gray Ward was actually in the lane very, very early on in the race. And here's another overtake here for McFadden around the outside at McLean's corner, and it will give him the outside once again. But look at that, the commitment under the brakes from Dion there. You can see the car getting all squirrely as well, and then used the curb to try and help himself square up the corner just a little bit. But with that, McFadden had to take avoiding action, and that's left him vulnerable now to Remo Grand, and he's had to go on the defensive just slightly. So now he's pulling a little bit back behind from Dion, but a good run out of here can do some things. And look at that. Ezra, he hasn't been able to make it to the checkered flag. He's had to come in and have to give up that P3. So as we said in the championship, Ferguson, he's now up into 3rd. So this is going to be huge. Definitely. That is massive ramifications. So Ferguson stretched that gap right out. His rival Jason there, he's in 9th, and he's just been taken by Dion. And I tell you what, there'll be team orders going on here. They'll be trying to get Remo into this as well, because if Remo can get up there, that's another position down, and McFadden will slip back to 10th. But Fergo, he will be laughing all the way to the bank with this one, a 3rd place. He just needs to keep it nice and straight now. Not so much sideways business. Try and protect those tyres as much as you can. He's got a great size gap. It's 7.5 seconds back to Crowther, so he doesn't have to do anything too adventurous, too outrageous. Just try and drive the car as smooth as you possibly can and try and get it together. But as we come up here, mate, as you were predicting, nearly down to 5 seconds, Fabian de Corksey. So Fabian, he's closing in. Yeah, and crucially, he's not doing it in giant chunks as well, so he's really trying to look up the tyres. So the main game for Fabian Fitness at the moment is going to be slowly get himself to the back of Tommy Corks, and hopefully within the next 5 minutes, he's going to be able to bring that gap down to less than a second when he can really start battling in those last maybe 5 or so minutes. He's going to use that tide advantage that he has got against Tommy Corks to try and make what will be visually a very easy overtake, but I am sure behind the wheel it is going to be anything but easy.
Definitely not easy. Let's go to Corksy now. How about we have a sneaky car cam and just see the wheel work? Oh, that's Astrop. That's Astrop. He's just had a massive slide. Corksy won't want to be seeing any of this business going on. He won't want to know about this. He'll just want to get through. So these two guys seem to be battling it out. Corksy, oh, look at how slidey that car is at the moment. I tell you what, he's got his hands full there. He's going to have to try and hang on to this. If you just have a look out of corners, look at it sliding. Look at the counter steering going on there. Geez, he's having to work that one, mate. That's going to be and then in the background, I've just caught a glimpse of fitness coming through. That's just over 4 seconds now. So that's nearly a second in one lap. So he is closing in here. This race is not one and done, and that car looks like an absolute handful, Corksy. You can have it.
Yeah, that car is not going to be fun on how old those tyres currently are, and I'm sure it's probably bringing up the heart rate just a little bit, as well as seeing a lapped car of John Ostrop looking a little bit racy behind him as well, maybe showing half a nose to try and unlap himself. But unfortunately for Ostrop, that's a little bit far out the window for himself now. He doesn't want to get himself involved in an incident which involves getting himself caught up with the race leader. But yeah, that was a horrific lap for Tommy Corks. He caught the traffic at the wrong moment, and he has lost over a second to Fabian Fitness in this one. So this one, it might be coming down a little bit quicker than we first thought, but riding on board now with Fabian Fitness, you can just see the traffic that is up ahead. You can see the glimpse of the light blue car ahead leading that 3-car train. That's your race leader, Tommy Corks. He is now trying to use the clean air that he's got in front of him to his advantage and getting himself further up the road from Fabian Fitness. But his saving grace, although at the moment, is that he does have those 2 lap cars between him, and hopefully Fabian will catch him at the wrong point as well.
Definitely, and how much does that incentivize you when you just catch glimpses of that car? He will know that car. He will know that's first place. He will know that's Corksy. So he just needs to keep it all together now and just try and catch him. We're in for a hot finish here with just over 7.5 minutes to go. Can Fabian do it? But let's go back through the field here. There's still a battle. We've still got a Sim Nation sandwich going on here for McFadden. That's a banana Sim Nation sandwich, that one. He's trying to get around Dion, but Remo's sticking with him as well. So these guys having a great little battle of their own. This is for 8th, 9th and 10th. So McFadden, he won't want to slip too far out of that top 10 because he's got Ferguson still in 3rd position. Looks like he's got a commanding hold of that, so he can just hang on to it for now. And I'm sure I just saw that counter go down to just over a 2-second gap.
Yeah, right as he cut off, Dion made a mistake because he's now dropped behind both McFadden and Remo Green. He ran wide at the old hairpin turn for that really tricky corner I was telling you about, where the wall creeps up on you if you go out wide. We've seen a few cars have an issue there, so McFadden has been given a free position. Unfortunately for Dion, he's now at the tail end of the top 10 in at 10th position. Remo has even made up a position to get himself now up into 9th, so he's got a little bit of clean air in front of him to try and make a move on at McFadden if he pleases. So, and it looks like he was almost half trying to fake to the inside of the S. It's a very brave move to get it done down there. All he's trying to do though is trying to distract McFadden by placing his car, just slightly off the racing line, get all up in his mirrors, just like you would trying to get a driver out of the right-hand lane on the freeway.
I tell you what, that's now let Remo off the hook. Remo has now gone, right, Dion is not a consideration. He is behind me. I'm going to absolutely go for it as Dion's pulled into the pits. He's done. Those tyres are done, so he's not going to see it out. He's going to change those tyres and play on. And in the background there, ladies and gentlemen, you can see Corksy just going around another car, and there's Fitness. This has closed right down. We're just over a 2-second gap here with just over 5.5 minutes to go. So if we keep going on this trajectory, I think he's got him. I think this could be on.
It's definitely on. I reckon something's happened to Tommy. I think a small mistake possibly, because it almost looked like he was going back around John Ostrop again. So somewhere along the line, I think Ostrop's got himself back ahead of Tommy Corks and unlapped himself, and now Tommy's back ahead once again. So this is definitely not playing into the hands of Tommy at all, because having to battle it out with a lapped car is only going to cost you a heap of time and fitness ever closer, because that gap is now gone under 2 seconds. But on that last lap, he was just over a second faster, was fitness, but this battle now between Dion and Cole Elliott has kicked off. Dion here on the fresher tyres. Elliott is also on pretty fresh tyres, but they're now a few laps old, and every lap absolutely counts when it comes down to those fine percentages when it comes to tyre wear.
Definitely. I tell you what, the strategy's really hurt him. He's down into 11th. He might get back up there into 10th, but I tell you what, he's not going to get anywhere back near these guys who are still nose to tail going for it. I mean, there's nearly a 16-second gap from Remo to Elliott. So if Clerk can get around Elliott, I still don't think he's going to catch these guys. So that strategy's really bitten him, but I can't take my eyes off it, Pete. I have to keep looking at it. It's now down to about 1.6 seconds. So Fabian now, he's smelling blood in the water. This man is going for it. He will want this first place.
Yeah, love it, Coca-Cola, because that is the real question, because he's got to get by the Coca-Cola car with John Ostrop first, and Ostrop's trying to stay with Tommy Corks as close as he can, because he could try and unlap himself, and then at least on the timings he won't be considered a lap down. So, you know, it's all about a small bragging right to say, hey, I finished on the lead lap still. But he does have to keep in mind that if Fabian does get up to the back of him, and Tommy's in. Tommy is in. He has waved the white flag. He cannot go for the last 3.5 minutes. I feel like we've been robbed here, Dion.
Oh, we have absolutely been robbed. That was going to be a battle for the ages, but Corksy just couldn't make it. Is it fuel? Is it tyres? Geez, he's going to lose a few positions here, because here's Fergo onto the main straight. So Fergo's going to go around him. Oh, we've had another car go around in the background there. So Corksy, he's going to come out behind Fergo. This has just given Fergo an absolute leg up in the championship. He's now in second place. He's only got 3 minutes to hold it. What's he got? 2 laps, maybe 3 laps? All he's got to do is hold that position. No matter how dicey those tyres are, skate on ice, my friend. Stay with it and hold that second position.
Yeah, I don't know what to think. I understand. Well, we're not in the car, are we, here? So we don't know if maybe those tyres on Tommy Cork's car had reached absolutely dead zero. And when they do that, you're pretty much just driving on the rim. That's exactly what it feels like. You're driving on ice and the car's next to uncontrollable. And so it probably would have been better for him just to pit. He had plenty of a margin, hence why he's still come out in a podium position. If something happens here to Ferguson, who's on the older tyres, 5 seconds isn't too big of a gap, and we know the pace with Tommy Corks is absolutely mega. So all it takes is a mistake or two here from the car in second place, and Tommy Corks could be very well back into a position for second.
I tell you what, third place, if Tommy even pulls it off, if Corks even pulls it off, mate, and gets a third place here, that is still an outstanding result in this, a 60-minute enduro. Like, these guys have been on edge. The wheel work, what it would have taken to do this for a whole 60 minutes, I don't think you guys understand. The minute you've got wheels and you start to get all the force from the wheel, it's not an easy drive. Like, to stay in this for a whole 60 minutes, an hour, flat out racing, and they are giving it absolutely everything. It's not an easy task.
Yeah, and especially with cars that you need to really wheel the cars around, you have to grab it by the scruff of its neck. It can kind of cause a little bit of a hand cramp sometimes, depending on the steering wheel you're using as well, because you're really gripping onto that steering wheel, holding on for dear life, especially if you're running a higher force feedback setup. Your forearms are really fighting against the steering wheel. Even though it's just sim racing, it does very quickly become quite physical when you're driving cars as uncontrollable as these, and you can see the wheel work needed just to keep it pointing in the right direction. You don't want to be going off anywhere around here. As I've mentioned plenty of times, this grass is unforgiving, and once you're off, you are off.
Look at the wheel work by Fergo there. This man is literally mongrelling the car around the track at the moment to try and hang on to that second position. He's still keeping a good time to Corksy, so he just might be able to do it, but it's taking some extra work. Like, all the turning, holding onto that car, the thing is sliding around. It is dead set on ice. This is not fun. I mean, a Beyonce impersonation, I know I throw that line around easy, but what he's doing right now, have a look at the wheel work. Just trying to hold hold onto that car on old tyres. This is not easy, but I tell you what, this will be the last time he has to do it, because I believe that we are about to come into the last lap. Fabian, is he going to cross the line in time? He is. He's going to force one more lap. So this will be the final lap, and Fabian with an absolute masterclass of a drive. This man has done everything right tonight. That first pit stop, we were second guessing it. We were questioning it, but I tell you what, I bow down to you, Mr. Fitness. Great job.
Yeah, the two stoppers definitely turned out to be the way to go. And while we were talking on just a moment before, I've taken note that Jason McFadden, he's jumped up an extra position now up into 7th, because it was Cook who came into the pit lane very late on to do another pit stop here. So McFadden's been given another little saving grace here, another position, another little aid towards his championship charge here. It's going to be such a long championship, isn't this one, Dino?
Oh, this one's going to be fought, how like hammer and tongs, all the way to the very end. None of these guys like to lose. They all want to win. I'm sure they all go into it thinking they're going to affect McFadden's in. What is he doing? The timer has counted down to 0. Has he got a pit penalty that he's got to run? No, he stopped. What is going on? I have no idea why McFadden would just stop. What has happened?
That is going to be a story that we have to find out post-race, and that will be a small news article for the pre-show in the next one. But we have to turn our eyes now to Fabian Fitness, because as we said, the strategy has been played to perfection, and he's now only got a singular corner to manage, and that is going to be Goddard corner. So we'll round the final one for the last time. He's on the power slide, he's in celebratory mode, and he will claim victory here for the first Enduro of the season here at Donnington Park, and by a comfortable 15 seconds ahead of Andrew Ferguson as well. And it looks like he's actually going to hold on to that P2 position, because he has actually extended his gap out by an extra 2 seconds to Tommy Corks as well. But yeah, Ferguson across the line, second. Tommy Corks third on the power slide. He's going to be very happy with that, considering how late he pitted.
Oh, definitely. He will be happy with that result for sure. And then we're going to have Ezra coming through in 4th. He'll be wrapped with that. Andre Elliott, he'll be through in 5th. Not sure how we feel about that, but he'll be happy. I just saw in the background there, looks like Cookie has just rounded up Crowther, or Crowther is going down the field. So we've got Remo in 6th. Cookie is going to come through in 7th. C. Elliott, he'll come through in 8th. McFadden in 9th. I tell you what's happened there. He's just mistimed it by 1 lap, I would bet. And he's just had to do a quick fuel stop just to get 1 lap's worth of fuel just to finish this race. It's not over yet, Jace. Don't be celebrating yet. Dion, he looks like he'll come through for 10th position, which isn't too bad considering all the time the poor bugger spent. Oh, he's out of fuel. Dion is out of fuel. He's not going to make it.
The Crowther's now considered DNF, so I reckon he's running out of fuel as well, because he was falling down the field. So I reckon we've had a couple of drivers here drop out of the order by running out of fuel at the death of the race.
Definitely, that's all changed now. So we've got Salmon in 10th. He's going to cross the line. I'm not calling any more until they bloody cross the line, I tell you. Priest, is he going to take 11th? Gray's going to give him a run to the line. Oh, Priest, by an absolute nose hair, gets 11th over Ward. Dion, he's in 13th. Oh, he's gone into the pits. He's rolling into the pits. What an absolute finish.
Honestly, that's really smart from Dion, because the run into the pit lane is downhill, and you're shortening up the run to the start line as well. So he's got himself to the line, very on the spot thinking from Dion there to pull it into the lane, use the downhill run. You can see the elevation in the back shot of how much that rear end is. And here is Sadler getting a bit of a rear end from Jason McFadden. For all his worth, we've had a couple of spinners in front as well. So I reckon now it's all a bit of fun and games now the chicken flag has fell.
Definitely, and let's run down the rest of the field. We've got Sullivan in 17th, King in 18th, Astroth 19th, DNF for Kirk, Buck in 21st, 22nd for Street, 23rd for Bensley, and O'Reilly, he was out early as well. But I tell you what, I've got to give it to this man. Absolute class act. When we wrote him off, he just got it done and absolutely cleaned up. What a fantastic drive from Fabian tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, we were questioning the two-stopper, but it's turned out to be the absolute way to go. And of course, it was Fabian Fitness to work that one out. So props to him. Other drivers looked like they were trying to go for a bit of a one-stopper, but in the end, it was a bit too much of a distance for these big, thirsty V8s.
I tell you what, and how's that? Their boys just pushing him back in. I wouldn't push him. He won the race. Bugger him. He can walk. But what an absolute race tonight. This has been phenomenal. I've had the best time in the box with you tonight, mate. This race certainly produced everything.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward now to the next Enduro round that we have got coming up. And when is that one coming out, Dino?
Mate, that one is, I believe it's in a couple of weeks. I will have to check the calendar. I'm busy with the cameras at the moment, so I'm not sort of playing with it all. I'm watching these guys. Is that a bump draft or a push? I can't quite tell, mate.
Yeah, let's go with the bump draft. I've just pulled it up. So your next Enduro is at Wattens Glen. So that is going to be a very interesting one. These cars, I can already imagine these cars going through that bus stop chicane. That is going to be something to behold as well. And especially going up the hill through the S's as well. That's going to be pretty cool. But next week is at Yas Marina. So another wildly different circuit to what we've been to this weekend. I'm loving this championship with a variety of circuits that we go to.
Definitely. And look, I just need to do it one more time before we sign off, guys. If you like what you see here, if you've had fun tonight, like, subscribe, and get notified. The Rangy Tuesdays, it doesn't get much better than this, Pete.
It does not. It's very quickly becoming one of my favourite parts of the day.
Definitely. And ladies and gentlemen, I would love to thank you all for being with us tonight. I hope you've enjoyed the racing as much as I have. I've been Dean, and I've had Pete with me. Once again, Pete, thanks for jumping in, mate.
No worries.
And we shall see you all next Tuesday. Do not miss it.
Sensational TV YouTube channel. Don't fucking miss it.